Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Inside the Studio, YouTube edition. That's right, today I am going to be filming my first video, so yeah, let's get to this, shall we? Today I'm going to be doing a product demo of a really cheap pedal. And when I say cheap, I mean, holy crap, is it cheap. It's going to be the SAPHUE, however you pronounce it, Vintage Overdrive. This thing. Yeah, this tiny little pedal right here is what I'm going to be demoing for you today. Now, it's a clone of the TS808, TS9, TS8, whichever one you want to call it, the Ibanez Tube Screamer. That's what this is a copy of. And we're going to give it a little test run today, shall we? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a few little snippets here. That way you can hear, what it sounds like. And how I'm going to test that is by playing a little something, obviously. So let me get my guitar pick here. I've got a bunch of them. Star picks. So let's do this, shall we? First, I'm going to play just a little something clean, okay? Now, I haven't tuned my guitar. I probably should. But, see how it sounds, shall we? Here it is on the clean channel. Not bad. Okay. Now, here we are running the amp sim with the gain turned up, okay? And with the boost on the clean channel. Now let's add some gain. Alright, so let me go back and see how that sounded first, because I'm having to listen to all of this after the fact because I don't have an amp. That's right, I'm running from the pedal into my interface and using amp sims on my computer because, well, let's face it, this is a very low budget studio. Now, someday, on one of these other episodes, I will have some amps to run this through. I got lucky and I already have some cabinets. Now, you might be wondering, what cabinets does he have? Well, let me turn this pedal off. The cabinets that I have are, well, one says Fender Solid State. It's got the big long badge on the top of it, so I'm thinking it's an old Bassman Solid State cab, which, if that's true, it's worth a little bit. I've also got a Earth Sound Research B25 cab, which is a 2x15 cabinet. It's got two 15-inch speakers in it. No, it's not a bass cab, it's a guitar cab. So, the amps that I plan on using, I do plan on buying a couple of the Joyo Bantamp series. I'm going to be getting a Zombie and a Vivo. And at some point, I will have all six. I will. Because from what I hear, they sound almost exactly like the amps they're cloned on. So yeah, why not? So, let me get to this. Okay, I gotta say, that actually sounded pretty good. Now, I don't know exactly how an original Ibanez tube screamer sounds, as I've never had one, and you probably never will either because they're expensive as fuck. Now, you can easily get a clone of these, or even a reissue, for kinda cheap. I say kinda because, still over $500 for a pedal is outrageous. This pedal cost me a grand total of 20 and some change after shipping. And yes, I did have to wait a while for it because it did come all the way from China. But for what we're using it for, it's actually not that bad. So what I'm going to do now is hook up my bass guitar, and we're going to see how that sounds with and without the boost, okay? Okay, for those of you wondering, all I'm running for bass guitar is a Johnson 4-string jazz bass copy. Nothing special. It's the original pickups that were in it. I think, my strings, someone messed up and sent me the wrong ones. It was supposed to be D'Addario Pro Steels, because I love the sound of those, especially when you run them into a high gain bass amp. It just sounds abso-fucking-lutely phenomenal on metal. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play a little bit, and then we're going to kick the boost on. Now, I'm not running the gain too terribly high on my bass amp sim. I am using the Ignite Amps SHB1 gain, well, pretty much all the controls at 12 o'clock, okay? That's all I'm doing. For the impulse response, I have I think it's an Ampeg or something, some sort of bass amp cab. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I will find out, and I will include an edit down at the bottom here. So let's get to this. I'm just going to noodle around on the bass and we'll see how it sounds, okay? So. Ooh, that did not sound good. There we go. Okay, so once again, I gotta go back and listen to how it sounds. The first one was without the boost. The second one was with the boost. And yeah, let's see how it sounds, okay? Okay, that made a big difference on the sound of the bass guitar. And a lot of you are probably thinking, why would you run that on bass? Well, simply put, when you're playing bass in a metal or hard rock setting, you're actually trying to get a lot of gain. And so that's how you do that. You run an overdrive or a distortion or a fuzz. Me, I personally love the sound of overdrive on bass because it doesn't add too much stuff that muddies up the low end. It actually seems to make the low end a little more pronounced. And while in this demo it made the high end more pronounced, and it will, in a mix, it makes the low end just growl even better, which is what you're looking for in, hard rock and heavy metal bass guitar. So, my opinion on this pedal, it's well worth the $20. I mean, come on. Might not be well worth the wait, especially if you need it soon, but it's always nice to have a little something extra in your arsenal, and I am so glad I got this pedal. Now, will I buy the distortion pedal that they offer? Probably not. For that, I'm actually looking for something else entirely. So this will probably be my boost pedal for if I play a solo or something. And yeah, I know, I tested it out on just rhythm guitar, but come on. If you want to test it out on your lead guitar, spend the $20 on AliExpress, have it shipped to you. It's cheap. I mean, come on. Some people pay more than that for cigarettes, okay? Yeah, I'm looking at you, New York. Why do you charge so much for cigarettes? Anyway, yeah, that is the first episode of Inside the Studio. Actually, no, this episode is not over. I'm going to ask you guys to I know this is fucking shameless plug right now, but I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and check out my band Elysium. We are on YouTube as well as every major streaming platform out there. And this, I'm going to endorse a company here, DistroKid. If you, hey guys, come on, you can help me out here too, DistroKid. If you are a band or artist looking to get your music out there, go through DistroKid. For one, if it's just you, it's $20 a year. Not $20 a month, $20 a year, and you can release as much music as you want in that year. Now, let's say it's you and, you're in a band, but you want to do your side project stuff as well. $35 a year for the art or musician plus. And if you're like me and running a record label, their label plans start at just $80 a year. Now, I say 80, it's $19.99 for a single artist, $34.99 for two artists, and then $79.99 for a label. At least that's what it starts at. They do have higher plans that allow you up to 100 artists on your label, but let's face it, if you're like me starting off small, you're not going to have near that many. So, at some point in the future, I might upgrade to one of the bigger plans, but right now, I'm sticking with the $80 one. Now, check out my band Elysium. They are on every major streaming service out there, as well as on YouTube. We have a lyric video for our first single, Defied. And yes, most of that, everything except the vocals, was recorded right here in this tiny little studio. So go check it out. Until next time, I will see you guys later.